Hello, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
And welcome to the Weird Science Comics YouTube channel, where I'm going to be going through the Flash Annual number 3. That is written by Joshua Williamson, with art by Steven Segovia, Brandon Peterson, and Carlo Pagulan. And this is a crossover team-up annual type deal where we get the Suicide Squad in this issue. Joshua Williamson may be giving a solid over to his man Tom Taylor's Suicide Squad book, which is not selling well. So that's a good thing because I think the Suicide Squad book is really good. I think that maybe this will get more people off to read that, which would be a good thing. And this is a fun issue, and I actually have a lot more fun in this issue with Joshua Williamson than I've been having in the regular run of Flash. And it is a Suicide Squad tie-in type deal, but it's more of a Captain Boomerang tie-in deal, and him being a part of the Rogues fits right in with the Flash. And if you have read any sort of Flash, and if you've ever read an issue that deals with Captain Boomerang telling a story to somebody about something that's happened, you'll know that the stories always skew towards Digger being a hero, and this is no different. That's the fun of it. The fun is to see what he claims happened and then get a little peek at what really happened as he's talking to some government agents that are looking for the Suicide Squad, but in particular, the revolutionaries. I kind of think that these people are not on the up and up. I think that they may be involved with kind of what's going on in the background of the Suicide Squad that we'll get to in a second. But you end up getting the Suicide Squad there. You end up getting the team, and they spell out all of the new characters. You don't have to spell out Deadshot, Harley, or Boomerang, obviously, but you get that team, and it's a real fun team. If you look at this and say, well, they're not that fun, they are. The book is really good, and I'll go on and on about it in this review pretty much, that you have to go and check out the Suicide Squad, even if you have a little bit of fun here, and I did. But yeah, you end up where Boomerang is helping the Suicide Squad because they're on the run. In their book, the last issue we just had, they ended up pretty much killing their handler, Locke, and then running off. Now, in the meantime, you end up finding out, and this is, again, I'm going to try to entice you to go over, so I'll spoil some things in the Suicide Squad book. Ted Kord seems to be the bad guy behind what's going on with this new Suicide Squad. And it's one of those where you're waiting to see how this works out. And if, in fact, it's a ruse, Ted's doing it for some other reason. It's not really Ted, but we don't really know that as of yet. But you end up having Boomerang take the Suicide Squad back to his place, back to the Rogues' hideout, where the Flash shows up. And again, this is Boomerang telling the story. So there's a fun thing in this where you do get, Flash like, golly gee, there, Boomerang. Oh, shucks. Like, that's how Boomerang ends up thinking of Flash, but also seems to think of him as he's always eating and running around with sodas and hamburgers. And you end up having the character there on the bottom. It's Wink. And she seems to be a big Flash fan. The problem I have in this, and it might be the play they're going for, Wink in this issue comes off way more like Harley than she does in the regular Suicide Squad book. And I'm afraid people are going to read this and say, oh, great, the team has pretty much 2 Harleys, like we need that. And that's not the case in the real book. And I don't know if it's because this is going through the Boomerang lens, and that's how he sees Wink, that he thinks in his mind, oh, here's another, and doesn't even give her a chance, or this is just kind of the way Williamson's writing a character he didn't create or doesn't write and didn't quite get a grip on it. But you end up where these agents, Flash came to help you? Because it seems the Flash has come to help. And he's like, what? Yeah, me and the Flash, we team up all the time. I mean, we always have team ups. And so you end up, that's the fun. And also, like Captain Boomerang #1, there's a lot of like meta things involved as well because he's telling the story. Well, what ends up happening is the Suicide Squad ends up having the revolutionaries. They got to skedaddle. They got to make themselves disappear, and they have pretty much an invisible jet, a prototype jet called the Veil that they have ended up hiding. This is their escape plan. It's in Death Valley. They have to get to Death Valley. And while that's going on, you do end up having Wink say to Osita, who is the big woman in the middle, she's the leader of the revolutionaries, hey, should we tell Flash about Ted Kord? I mean, it's really wacky. And it's funny because that's the way to just kind of give it out there, say, oh my God, I got to go and see what's going on. Of course, they're not going to tell Flash because that would ruin everything. And it's not the book to do that anyway. So like, no, we're not even sure if Flash is on the up and up. Well, we end up seeing he is. And the way they get to Death Valley is pretty much strapping Flash to Boomerang's van. They even say it smells funny in here. There's odd things. I'm surprised there's not more shag carpeting. They're all in there it's pretty fun. It is a pretty fun deal as they're going again. But there you go. You have Wink really coming off like a Harley clone. You don't even really get her powers in this because she gets hurt. She teleports and she's pretty cool. She's one of the cooler characters on this team. You end up having the girl on her left. That's Chaos Kitty. We don't really have gotten much of her, so I can't really say, but Osita I do like as well. And I wish that in this annual, though it is a Flash annual, so you can't expect too much, I wish we got more of the power sets of the Suicide Squad so people can be intrigued. Well, when they are in Death Valley trying to get to this veil, this invisible jet, all of a sudden Deathstroke shows up in his death buggy, and he looks like he's Mad Max times 20. He ends up fighting them. He does fight for a fraction of a second, the Suicide Squad team, but Flash ends up saying, you guys get to the plane, you get out of here, I'll handle Deathstroke. And what ends up happening in a crazy deal, it looks like Deathstroke beheads the Flash. Well, first off, it's just Boomerang telling the story. And you don't even know by the end, is he trying to protect Flash? What it ends up saying is he ended up vibrating. It's a little bit off, but you end up, oh my God, let's go. And then Boomerang steps up, as he would in his own story, and starts to fight Deathstroke. At one point, one punches him, and it's like, you've been Boomerang, mate. It's hilarious. I love Boomerang. And he is a badass. Not this much, though. Deathstroke would mop him up, which we find out actually did happen. But in the mind of Boomerang, he even imagines, he says, oh, and they got away on the jet. And I can imagine the things that they were saying. It's like, Captain Boomerang's the greatest, a damn legend. He truly is Captain Boomerang. And then Chaos Kitty, someday I'll have his boomer babies. That didn't happen. That's what he's wishing would happen. You end up having these agents laughing because they saw what really happened. They actually were arriving on the scene at that point. And you see that he just got the crap kicked out of him by Deathstroke, but still was the hero because that allowed the Suicide Squad to get away. Now, the big reveal by the end is they didn't necessarily go off in that jet. That was a ruse. That was actually a decoy itself. And they got away to go to Gotham City. Why I'm spelling that out, maybe intrigue everybody. The next issue of Suicide Squad has the Suicide Squad team in Gotham City, where when you have a book that isn't doing well, what do, folks? You end up having Batman, and he shows up in that. So a Batman guest star, that means a book is in trouble, but at least DC wants it to get some eyes on it, and hopefully that does it. Again, it's really good. But you end up where they're going to take these agents, they're going to take Boomerang back to Bel Rev. They're going to put him back on the Suicide Squad, and the Flash does not think he deserves that and does come and save Boomerang, and he takes him back to his house in Australia and says, hey, there's your house. You're doing good. I'm trusting you a little more because you did try to help these kids because you didn't want them in the same situation you were. If you don't know, Boomerang has just been pardoned out of the Suicide Squad, but then kind of get caught back in by bragging about being on the Suicide Squad. And as they say, the one rule about Suicide Squad is you don't talk about Suicide Squad. And he did. And so Flash sets him up to, all right, let's go on the straight and narrow. You're a hero. You can be. All right. Yeah. And then it ends with Boomerang getting a text message from Captain Cold. Hey, yeah, you passed the test. You're back in the Rogues. If you want, we're going to do some capers. Let's go. And he leaves. I'm back. He's back to being bad. So that's how it all ends there with a shiner that he got from Deathstroke. I really like this. I really had a lot of fun with this. I think Joshua Williamson did a great job with introducing people to a Suicide Squad that they may not be familiar with, but also having a fun Boomerang story. He ended up having a story with Boomerang at one point where he ended up Boomerang's telling how, and I believe this wasn't Williamson's story, but I'm saying Boomerang himself ended up having where he's talking about how he was Australia's biggest secret agent. And it's so over the top, but then you find out he kind of was. It's great stuff. I love Boomerang. So, yeah, I gave this a 8.5. I enjoyed the art. You have 3 artists on it and still really, really good. Sometimes with 3 artists, things tend to get wonky. They did not. And so, yeah, I recommend reading this. And usually annuals are things you might want to avoid, but this one, a lot of fun. But thanks, everybody, for watching and listening to this video. If you would be so kind, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and then go to the links below to see all the Things Weird Science podcasts, websites, both DC and Marvel, Patreon account where you can support us for these videos and all the other things as well. But thanks, everybody, and I will talk to you later.